Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ronke. In today's video, we'll be talking about shopping abroad. So shopping on vacation, maybe shopping if you have any reason to go like on a work trip or anything of that nature outside of the country. Shopping abroad for me is a really good experience because I think it's an opportunity for you to experience the local culture and stimulate the local economy. Now, when you think about shopping abroad, of course, you can go to some department stores, some international stores or stores that kind of have international chains, but then you can also stop at some like boutiques and local mom and pop shops as well. Shopping abroad is also a good way to get souvenirs for anyone that you're interested in getting a souvenir for, or this can be a good way to get a keepsake for your trip or getting something that maybe isn't available in your local area. In this video, I'll be talking a little bit more on the mainstream / luxury side and how you can work it out to your advantage. Now, when you want to shop abroad, the first thing I would recommend is that you need to know what to get based on where you're going. Now, I will just say that you can really get anything you want anywhere you want, but there are some certain countries or regions that based on what you're trying to get might be a better place to get it. So for example, if you're traveling to Europe, Europe is really known for their leather goods. Whether this is a luxury item or non-luxury, maybe you're going once again for maybe like artisan leather, Europe is known overall for their leather goods, and so that's a really good place to check out. In the inverse, you have places like the Caribbean where I know a lot of people tend to try to buy liquor or certain tropical things or spices or flavorings from the Caribbean. That's a good place to get some of those. You also have places in the Middle East where you might be looking to get like the oud sort of perfumes. You also might be getting jewelry from there or maybe some scarves, right? So it's really important to have an idea of the best type of items to buy based on where you're going. Now, the thing to keep in mind with that is, as I said, everything is available just about everywhere. But if you are looking to get something like luxury handbags in Europe, the brand also matters, right? So if you want to buy a brand like Chanel or Louis Vuitton, that's going to be cheaper in Europe versus if you're trying to buy like Tony Birch. Because Tony Birch is an American brand, it's actually going to cost more in Europe than it would in the US. Reason being, they have to pay, the shops in Europe that is, they have to pay for the items to be brought over from the US to Europe, and then they also of course will have to include like import duties, taxes, all of those things that you would technically pay taxes in the US, but you wouldn't pay import duties, but they do add all those additional costs that are then factored into the total item of the good. So sometimes it's better to buy things in the country or in the region where it's generally produced, so there are fewer import duties or really no import duties at all. The second thing is that when you are going shopping, you need to be prepared, okay? For some people, they really treat shopping like an all-day marathon. So you better make sure you're wearing the right shoes, have the right clothes on. And when I say have the right clothes on, like be comfortable, but also have the right clothes on that are easy to like take on and off. When you want to go shopping is not the day you want to wear like a jumpsuit that you have to like completely unbutton with knee-high boots and, you know, all kinds of stuff that's just a lot of effort. Ideally, if you can wear sandals, if you can wear sneakers, if you could wear something that's like, you know, even if it's a dress, you want to be cute, something that's super easy to slip on and off, I think is ideal when you want to go shopping and you want to actually try things on if you're trying on clothes. You also want to be mindful that, of course, if you're going shopping, try to have the right sort of card. There are some credit cards that charge you foreign transaction fees. You already know I'm absolutely against foreign transaction fees, okay? If you still are paying that, you got a problem, okay? You need to find you a good credit card that does not have any foreign transaction fees so that you can actually take advantage of it, because there's no purpose in you spending abroad to buy something nice for yourself if you're going to get hit on the backside from your credit card company. You also want to make sure that you, of course, have enough space. So don't go and buy the whole world when you know you only came with the carry-on. Make sure you have enough space for the items to come back with you. And then also make sure you know the general prices, especially for items that maybe are sold in multiple locations, like maybe your home location, another location you plan on visiting, and then the location you're actually at. It's important to make sure that you're getting the best bang for buck, I would say. So just try to make sure that you have an understanding of what the general prices are. So when it comes to shopping, you also want to make sure that you have enough time. Make sure you have enough time to actually shop. Make sure you have enough time to go around and check out the different places you can shop at. And then also make sure that you have enough time to rest. I mean, I think for some people, they love retail therapy and they feel like, oh, I could just do it. But anytime that you're going out, like that's physical exertion you're putting on your body. So make sure you have the time to rest after shopping. And then also make sure you build in time to actually enjoy where you're going to. I mean, unless you're like a personal shopper and that is your sole purpose for going, please try to enjoy whatever destination you're at beyond the shopping. Okay, the fourth thing I would keep in mind is doing a VAT refund. This is especially applicable if you're traveling to Europe. So VAT is value added tax. It's pretty much tax that you pay on goods purchased in Europe. Now, the idea behind it is that if you are not a European citizen, you should not have to pay tax on goods because you're not consuming the goods or using the goods in Europe. So if you go to Switzerland and you want to buy a watch, the idea is that if you are able to get the VAT, you pay for the actual value, the actual cost of the watch minus the VAT. So you get the VAT value back. Now the difference, of course, is that in Europe, the price that they're giving you, if they were to say like 500 euros, that would be the price of the item plus the VAT. So you end up getting the VAT back, you end up saving a little bit of money. So you can end up paying like 470 euros instead of 500 euros. Now, when you're trying to do a VAT refund, there's a whole process for it, okay? You have to make sure that you follow the process to a T. If you mix anything up in it, you ain't get your money back, okay? So if you want your money back, make sure you follow the steps. The first thing you have to do is you have to make sure that you are making a qualifying purchase. You cannot go to a restaurant and try to get VAT refund on that. It has to be something like a good, like a product that is not consumed in Europe. So you need to take it out of the country with you, essentially, right? You can't take food at a restaurant out of, I mean, if you do, that's a little questionable, but you shouldn't really take food from a restaurant out of the country, right? So the first thing is that it has to be a qualifying purchase with an eligible retailer. So when you're entering into a shop, if you're interested in shopping there and dropping some big bank, you need to make sure that you're asking, first of all, do y'all participate, right? And then there's also actually a dollar threshold of how much you have to spend in one particular shop in each particular place in order to qualify for it. So if you know that you want to spend a lot of money or you want to spend some money, it's important to kind of figure out first, am I willing to spend enough here to actually get the refund if I care enough? One tip that I would give is that if you go shopping at somewhere like a mall, in some, I can't speak for all, but I know in some places, they might allow you to aggregate the cost of everything you spent within the mall into your VAT refund, but you have to submit the paperwork within the mall. And they usually have like a designated desk or something. So when you make your purchase, you'll have someone fill it out. Like I said, it could be a stand at the mall or it could be an individual shop. They'll fill it out for you. They require your passport and more or less they're confirming that you've purchased goods from their store. But once you get the paperwork, you then keep the paperwork until you're leaving the country. When you're leaving Europe from the last country of your stay, you provide that paperwork to a customs agent. This might be at an airport or if you're traveling by road, they have some designated offices, right? So you provide the paperwork, they'll review it. They might also want to see the goods, so it's important to make sure that you have not put the goods where you cannot access it prior to showing them these goods. They'll look at the goods, they sign off on it, and that's pretty much it. You just kind of wait to get your refund back. Different countries kind of have different ways they do it. For some, you probably still have to submit it even after the fact. But when my husband and I went to France, what we were able to do is we just used a kiosk. And so everything was pretty automated for us. And it's important to keep the paperwork. I would recommend keeping the paperwork just in case you run into any issues getting your refund back. Now, when you're shopping in other countries, it's really important that you do your research ahead of time so you have an idea of what you want and what you are hoping to accomplish. I personally love shopping in other countries because for me, it's a great way to stimulate the local economy. And then, as I mentioned, it's also a great reminder of my time in that country. As you're planning your travel for this year, whether you're doing a all nature sort of adventure or something a little bit more soft life and shopping, I hope this video is helpful in at least giving you some tips on how to make the shopping work. See you in the next one.